So here at the headlands, it slows itself down on the turn.
It slows itself down, yep. And you can actually control as well how much it has to slow itself down, so that you can adapt this speed to the working conditions you are in and to the machine you are hooked onto the Nexat.
Now this is designed as a carrier to accept different types of implements, right from seeding through to harvesting, right?
Yeah, it's in that way that we from Nexat, we are creating just a basic vehicle and the combine unit. The combine unit, there are no mid-size partners in the AgTech. On all the other products, like on seeding, planting, spraying, we are working together with mid-sized innovative companies in all on which are the specific needs of the continents are known. So we are working with the technology leader in planting with Väderstad in Europe. In Brazil, we are working with Baldan. And here with the seeding system, which we are doing now in Canada, we are working with K-Hart because of their famous opening system where we have less sidewall compaction in the furrow, and which is a minimum disturbing seeding machine which we can use.
All right, Aaron, K-Hart is working with Nexat to supply the seeding drill that goes on this really unique machine here. So tell me about the engineering that had to go into this. You certainly had to make some modifications to fit here. Tell me about how that process went.
Yeah, so we've been very lucky to have a great collaboration with Nexat. And so to accelerate a lot of their development and the commercialization of the tractor, they've worked with a lot of implement manufacturers like ourselves to help bridge the gap between our current design and a design that fits on a Nexat unit. So this is the second prototype. The first prototype ran in Europe last fall with a lot of success. I got the chance to be there to help get it up and running and prove that we were a good partner, we were a good fit for what they're trying to do agronomically. And the way that it worked was Nexat helped us with the design of the toolbar. So anything that's painted green has been a collaboration between us and Nexat. And then the openers and the opener linkage and the air pack, the air distribution, for the most part has been K-Hart's traditional design, just slightly modified in terms of position, orientation, to make sure that it works with this unique platform. One thing would be the small little fold-away wing, for example, on the front toolbar, or the front row of openers, that folds up out of the way between the tracks so they can drive over top of the tool, hook up, and then those openers flop down, almost like a miniature wing.
Right. What about the storage and you said the delivery system was K-Hart. What about the storage system? Is that typically what you would have supplied?
No, so this is a partnership that they have with Väderstad.
Okay.
And so it uses conventional 2.5-inch air pack, what we're used to. We're using all of our own distribution towers, our preferred blockage monitoring system, those sort of things. So when I say distribution, I mean the distribution on the drill itself. But in terms of seed metering and seed storage, that's another partnership that they have with Väderstad to customize this very unique tank system.
All the bins up there.
Yep.
Now, one of the things we've seen, the trend is to have a great big huge air cart so you can do a whole quarter section at a time. Is that possible here with this setup?
Depending on your rates, and we have talked to them about sort of the seed volume needed to be able to meet the Western Canadian needs and the Western Canadian seeding rates. So these are things that I know Nexat are working on and have prototyped as well in different regions. So they're working towards the ideal setup for what would be Western Canadian farming.
So somebody using this could expect to have the same sort of nurse requirements that you would have in terms of frequency of loading and that kind of thing.
That's the goal, yes, is to get to that same sort of number of hours of operation without having to stop to fill.
So let's take a look at your drill openers.
Okay. All
right, Aaron, tell me about these openers.
Okay, so the core technology that we use at K-Hart is actually through another partnership we have with Tony Gent out of the UK. And so this very unique concept of the double disc, but at a angle, so that you actually don't get the sidewall compaction that you would have on a traditional single disc or even a double disc with the blades running straight vertical. So it's a very unique setup as well. It's got this pivoting function, which allows it to follow the ground, especially as you go around corners. You get less of that trench blowing open. And you also have the ability to go around obstacles. It will reduce your draft a little bit as it's trying to find the most efficient path. And so what's happening is this blade here is actually acting like a coulter, and it's running true to the direction of travel when this pivots halfway. And the small blade on the far side is actually what's opening up the trench and lifting a seed flap, and then the packer wheel is dropping or crushing that flap back down. So it's not actually, digging seed is actually a little more of a challenge because it's not where you would expect it with a traditional drill. You see the trench slit, and you think that the seeds would be directly below that, but they're actually off at a 22.5-degree angle. And so when you're digging your seed, you actually have to look a little bit to the side. Right? So it takes a little getting used to.
So does that help in eliminating moisture loss for the seed to germinate?
A little bit of that, but even more so, you don't have that in a heavy clay like we have here in the Red River Valley. You don't have the one blade pushing the soil sideways and compacting it and making that trench wall. Okay. When you see this and when you dig the seed trench, you can take your seed digging tool and just press it through the sidewall like you would the soil directly below the opener. And that helps a lot with the root growth. So you don't have the roots growing just to one side, say in a heavy clay that maybe dries out. The plant roots can actually go both directions, which is actually a huge agronomic advantage.
Yeah, it can get moisture from a broader square inches around the plant.
And it can get over to the fertilizer as well, since we do use a mid-row banding style of fertilizer application. So you don't have one row of plants that's at a disadvantage trying to grow towards the middle fertilizer band.
Is it possible to put a starter course down with the seed?
Yeah. Yeah, like any traditional drill, you can mix a little bit of starter. Obviously, you have to worry about seed damage, but whatever you're comfortable with, yes, you can.
And there's enough bins to handle that sort of double shoot kind of?
Yes. So this machine, this specific unit is actually set up, you can do that, or you can put your fertilizer on the front mid-row banders, the IRCs we refer to them as. A couple of other key features. We have probably the best opener travel in the industry. So with the parallel link, your traditional parallel link system, you get about 5.5 inches of travel once the parallel links are horizontal like they should be. But on top of that, the entire frame is on a parallel link. So with these smaller sections, you can travel in and out of ditches, such as here in the Red River Valley where you have a lot of surface drains.
Right.
Each of these sections will travel an additional approximately 13 inches total range. I believe the total range is around 24 inches. Okay. And so you can get into a lot of places that a traditional disc drill or hoe drill would just blow seed on the surface. You'll actually be able to follow the surface with this machine.
So it's unaffected by the rigidity of the machine frame itself, and it contours.
Yes, and our frames on our traditional Spider are very rigid, very heavy, so it requires that. We built the structure of the drill to be solid, and then the openers follow the ground, as opposed to the frame having to twist to follow the ground.
So kind of an ideal blend for this type
100%.
Of machine.
Especially for the gap between the tracks or tires. Having such a wide span, you really need that ground following to get over hilltops or into the drainage ditches here.
Right. How long does it take to hook this up if I'm going to change between this and another implement?
Typically running over it and hooking up, if you can see here in the video, there's a pair of hooks. They just use standard Cat 4 3-point hitch links. So they come down and they grab and they lift the implement. And probably most of your time is hooking up the air hoses because you have to disconnect those.
Sure.
Right now we haven't done quick couplers as a proof of concept. We just hose clamp to the pipes.
That's a possibility for the
Definitely
future.
A possibility to make it faster. And then you, at one single bank, you have all your electrical and hydraulics connected on the right side of the machine in this orientation. And I'm excited to see their success. And I think because of our focus on regenerative ag and on no-till, and this is a no-till opener, it's perfected for that application. Their success with our unit also means our success with their their tractor.
Aaron, thanks very much.
Thank you.